Hello and welcome to West Bloomfield 911. I'm Officer Rick, and on behalf of Chief Mike Patton, the men and women of the West Bloomfield Police Department, welcome to another exciting show. And as always, I'd like to introduce my co-host, David McNealy. Dave, how are you?
I guess. Good. Morning.
Good, good. Did you bring the police pills in today?
I think you did.
Yeah. Let me remind you of that.
Yeah.
You failed me, David.
Note to self, donuts.
That's right. Dave, as always, it's good to have you here.
Thank you.
And our very special guest, someone who really needs no introduction, Karen Newman, the National Anthem singer for the Detroit Red Wings and local recording artist. How are you, Karen?
Good morning.
It's nice to see you.
Good to see you too.
We're glad you came. I know you have a bit of a cold, and we're glad you dragged yourself out of bed to be with us.
Thank you. Well, there's no rest for the weary. When you're a
Yes.
super busy mom, you don't get to sleep in.
That's right. Well, we won't ask you to sing for us today because
Thank you.
I know
Your
you get
audience
to.
thanks you.
We'll ask David to sing. So.
Oh, okay. That'll be interesting.
I won't have to quit my day job, folks. Don't worry.
Karen, don't run away. We're going to do a segment called the Corner Spotlight, where we remember one of our employees and tell them thank you for being here.
Great.
Folks, if you look on your screen, you will see the smiling face of dispatcher Vanessa Goodwin. Vanessa is attached to the communications unit, and she does a great job. I got to tell you, I hear nothing but good things about her. We're so glad she's here. She hired in January of 2016, so she's been with us about 8 months here at West Bloomfield, but she brings with her a lot of good experience. Believe it or not, this lovely young lady is also a firefighter for Green Oak Township Fire Department, has been doing that for 2 years, so she truly is a woman of service. When I spoke to her about food, I got to tell you, she disappointed me. Vanessa. She said her least favorite food is steak. I think we'll keep you anyway. Yeah, I know, wow, absolutely, wow. And her favorite food is any kind of boneless chicken. We'll keep you anyway, Vanessa, even in spite of that. And she loves to read adventures. Not a particular author, but she loves adventures. And when I asked her about a favorite movie, she did have one of those. She loves Top Gun, the 1986 adventure, starring Tom Cruise, Tim Robbins, and a whole cast of characters. And when she's not watching movies or reading or working, she loves to turn on the music and listen to a little bit of country and western. So that's some good stuff. And regarding hobbies or accomplishments, she loves to golf. Vanessa, I couldn't golf. I don't even know which end of the club to use. And again, being a woman of service, she said she also loves being a firefighter for Green Oak. And another thing that's amazing about her, she is an emergency room technician at West Bloomfield Henry Ford Hospital. So truly a woman of service, dedicating herself to the community. And I love her quote. It's from the Gospel according to St. Matthew, chapter 7, verse 12. "In everything, therefore, treat people the same way you want them to treat you." Great author you've got there, Vanessa. So we're very proud to have her here. She does a great job. If you talk to Vanessa on the phone, please tell her hello and thank her for all she does as a dispatcher. We're going to turn the corner spotlight off on Vanessa. And you know what? Ironically, our safety tip of the day is talking about how to speak to dispatch and how to get a hold of the West Bloomfield Police Department. I get a lot of calls from people that listen to our entire outgoing message, and then they'll call and leave a message for me in crime prevention. And certainly if you want to talk to me, you're more than welcome to leave me a message, and I will call you back. But if you need an emergency, or if you have an emergency, remember, call 911. And if you have an immediate need to talk to a police officer, but it's not an emergency, you can call our general number at 248-975-9200. But you know what? Don't listen to the whole message. Simply hit option 0. When you hit option 0, it will connect you with dispatch or the front desk, and they'll get you the service and attention you need. But you know what? I do want to tell you, if Vanessa answers that phone or any other dispatcher, regardless of what you have as a problem or service that you need from us, please don't hang up on the dispatcher, because they're going to ask you the questions they need to give you the best service that we can. So they're going to keep you on the phone. And even if you think they're not sending someone to you, remember there are other dispatchers there that are getting the help you need headed your way. Again, don't hang up on the dispatcher. Let them hang up on you. So again, if you need us, and it's not an emergency, 248-975-9200, option 0. And be nice to the dispatchers. They do a great job. Folks, we will be right back with our very special guest, one I'm so excited to talk to, Karen Newman. So please don't go away.
You're watching West Bloomfield 911 on Civic Center TV, a service of the Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission. For more information or to watch episodes on demand, visit civiccentertv.com/WB911. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
The West Bloomfield Police Foundation raises money to help those who protect and serve the community. Whether it's emotional or financial support, the foundation provides a helping hand to officers, their families, and those in the community. For more information on the West Bloomfield Police Foundation, contact Kurt Lawson at 248-975-8900 or visit wbpolicefoundation.org.
Hello, and we are back. You are watching West Bloomfield 911. And again, a very special guest, someone known to all of us here in Metro Detroit and throughout Michigan. Karen Newman, National Anthem singer for the Detroit Red Wings and local recording artist. Karen, thanks again for coming on.
You bet.
Welcome.
Yeah, this is
Thanks.
great. And I've got to tell you, I have one of your CDs, your Christmas CD.
Oh, very good.
You know what? We went and saw you, my wife, Maureen, and my 2 daughters, Kristen and Carly. We went and saw you at the Fox Theater for your Christmas show. And I'm not just saying that because you're here, because I told all the guys at work, that was a great show.
Thank you.
I mean, really, it was very enjoyable and so well done.
Thank you. I put
Obviously-
a whole year of work into that show. I literally start in January.
Wow.
And you know, it's a lot of work, a lot of energy,
Yes.
but I love it.
You know what? Obviously you have a wonderful voice and you did a very good job, excellent job projecting and singing, but you also surround yourself with some wonderful people.
I'm no dummy.
No.
Oh my goodness, I go out and I've got the best musicians in the city of Detroit, probably many of them,
They're all
some of the
local?
best. They're all local, but many of them tour throughout the country and, you know, and over in Europe. They are some of the top-notch musicians that I could ever find.
Well, that was evident. I got to tell you, we thoroughly enjoyed it, and
Thank you.
we thank you for that. It was
Did you
great.
see the show where I had the Selected of God Choir join me as well?
Yes.
Great.
Yes, and they were
Because
excellent.
they bring a whole new element of energy and love to that show.
Well, you know, and if I could say, one thing that impressed me too, we spoke off camera, and David knows, of course, I'm a deacon in the Catholic Church, but you guys captured not only the kind of fun kiddie part, secular part of it, you really captured the spirit of what Christmas means and what it's about.
That's what Christmas is for me.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Keep the Christ in Christmas.
Yes.
We have buttons that we wear at our church right around December, and I love them. It says keep the Christ in Christmas. We're so used to, as of recent, you know, hiding
Right.
Christmas and trying to accommodate everybody else, and then we're not true to ourselves.
Right.
That's
And
our
your
most
show.
glorious holiday
Yes.
ever
And
as Christians.
And your show captured that. And I told my wife, I said, and this was before we met or anything, and I
Yes.
said, I love her.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. You know,
So that was
and
great.
my children, by the way, they're half Christian, half Jewish. Their dad is Jewish, so we embrace a lot of the Jewish culture and ceremony and traditions as well into our family. I have many friends who are Jewish and follow the Jewish religion, and it's just really about bringing everybody together.
Sure, absolutely.
You know, I'm not up there preaching.
No,
I'll leave
not
that
at
to
all.
you
Yeah.
on Sundays. That's
Gets
your
into the
job.
holidays.
But I need to be able to be genuine and true to who I am
Right.
as not just a singer and an artist, but as a person.
Right.
And so that's my opportunity to go ahead and just put it all out there. And, you know,
you
hopefully
do.
everybody enjoys it no matter no matter what God they follow.
Absolutely. And I got to tell you, we, as I was telling you, we do have your CD. So every Christmas, as we play all of our Christmas CDs, we
Am I
spend
mixed
part
in
of
with
it.
a little Dean Martin and Bing Crosby?
We spend part of it with Karen Newman.
I love that.
And
Thank
one of
you.
the songs that's my favorite, due to nostalgia, is you got the one about Christmas on Woodward
Yeah,
Avenue.
Christmas Eve on Woodward Avenue.
Yes.
That is, boy, that thing took off.
I'll
And the writer, my good friend Bob Stewart, and I'm not sure we ever really anticipated how big that song would become. But that's because it tugged on everybody's heartstrings, especially because, back in the day, everybody did, and it's happening again, which is really exciting. Everybody would go downtown, and that was part of the tradition, starting with the Thanksgiving Day parade, and then the shopping, and we're getting back to that again.
I hope so, yeah. I
So
like
my
that.
song might not be so nostalgic anymore, maybe in a couple of years, but I'm really glad everybody loves that song.
I'm a little bit older than you and than David. I figured I'd say it now because I know you'll bring it up. But I can remember going to Hudson's downtown to see Santa Claus. And I remember they used to set, I don't know if it was a whole floor because I was a little kid, but they used to set an area aside where the kids could go shopping for their parents or whoever.
Oh, I don't
and they
remember that part.
I do. And
I
they
must
had-
have just been shopping for myself.
You probably weren't even born
I was
yet.
making out my list.
and you could buy inexpensive stuff for your parents as a little kid, and they wouldn't let the parents go in. They'd have someone escort the kid.
They should
That was
still
great.
do that.
Oh,
I
it
hope
was
they still
wonderful.
do that.
Yeah,
See, you started a good idea. I think they should do that.
I do too. But that's
love
what it
it.
reminds me of all that. So, yeah, thank you. It was great. Love your CD.
Thank
We
you.
listened to it all Christmas season
Thank
long.
you. You make me nervous when we talk about Christmas because before I know it, it's going to be here,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I've got a lot of work
Even
to
if it
do.
just ended, it's right around the
Oh, yeah.
corner.
I've got a lot of work to do. I have no idea what I'm going to wear.
Boy, you and my wife. Well, let's talk a little bit about how you got started in the business. I know you went to Oakland University, correct?
I did. I
And
studied
you-
music there.
Well, let's talk about what got you started in music. What was your
You
interest?
grew up
Why?
locally, right?
Sure. I grew up and my family kind of bounced around a little bit, like a local Army brat, if you will. But my dad worked for GM, and he was a pricing analyst. And so he would get transferred to one place or another. And so we would have to go. But I grew up mostly in the Rochester and the Clarkston area. So I actually like to say I have 3 hometowns. And it's true, but Rochester is a hometown. I cut my musical teeth in that city. I opened up an opening of a strip mall or a plaza, or sang for the senior citizen home down there in the park in Rochester, and did many, many shows there. Clarkston is also a hometown for me. I spent a lot of my early school years in Clarkston. It's where I first had one of my best teachers ever. And
Music teacher?
music teachers, yes. And then I graduated from Grand Blanc High School. So I started out in Rochester for high school, but then we bumped to Grand Blanc, and I was mad as a wet cat. And I went kicking and screaming. It turned out to be one of the best things ever, because there was a teacher there, music teacher out of California, Doug Schaefer. I'll never forget him. He changed my world.
Wow.
He changed my journey and my path, and he was so amazing. And he brought the folks from Oakland University to the school. He invited them to come and present to us, the music department. And I ended up becoming part of a group called the Meadowbrook Estate. And back in that day, there was a great music program through Oakland. It was a commercial music program. Well, wow, I get to go into the recording studio. I get to go to New York and sing for Walter Cronkite. You remember that?
Yes,
it
I
was
do.
like, so
You must have been 5 at the time.
yeah, thank you. I can say I danced with Walter Cronkite.
Wow.
I think that's kind of cool.
Absolutely.
Most of the kids out there are going like, who?
Oh, that's right.
Go,
But in his day, when Walter Cronkite gave you the news, it was gospel.
My goodness,
you know?
yes, it was. So I had a lot of great experiences, but each stepping stone took me, from one place to the next, and it was all the right path. So, I'm still kind of letting it kind of lead me,
Well, the thing that I like too, because I was born in Detroit, and no matter where you live in the area, to me, I always say, I'm a Detroit boy.
Sure.
And you stayed here.
Sure.
You know, your greener pastures were here in Michigan.
Well, you know, I sampled California on a very small level. I went out there and spoke with met with some record executives, some label people, some writers, some A&R people. That's artists and repertoire for those who don't know. But
Right.
and I love California, but I don't know. I look back on this, Rick, and I think, was I just too afraid to make the move? Or was it that I really was following my own journey? And it turns out that staying here gave me the opportunity to do 3 of the biggest things in my career. One, of course, is singing for the Detroit Red Wings. And I'm going into my 27th season.
Really?
Which is
Oh my
amazing.
God.
Seen a lot of players. I've seen a few coaches. Of course, my favorite, Scotty Bowman. And
with
I've
that.
seen a lot of administration. Those people have all become my family down there over the years. And so that was probably one of the, not one, probably, it is the biggest thing, strangely enough, the biggest thing that's ever happened in my career. Now, it's not the only thing.
Yeah.
But because of my relationship with the Red Wings, I met a gentleman by the name of Alto Reed. You guys know who
Yes,
Alto Reed is? Of course
absolutely,
you do.
yes.
Saxophone player for the
Yes.
Bob Seger Band, right?
Yep.
For Silver Bullet Band. Well, he invited me to come and try out for Bob's background vocalist section, and I ultimately got that job.
Oh, wow.
So I can say, I've sang for the Detroit Red Wings. I've seen a few Stanley Cup
Yep.
games, right?
Yep.
Championships. I've been on tour with one of the greatest rock and rollers of our time, and we're proud to have him from Detroit,
Yes.
Bob Seger,
Another Detroit boy.
and all of the people that
All
were
the roots.
all the roots.
Yeah.
And then I go from that to Kid Rock. So again, one of the most amazing rock and roll artists, but also one of the most incredible human beings, and how much he loves Detroit and what he does for the people here in Michigan. He loves Michigan.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm very happy to say that I have been in that company, you know.
Yep.
Seeger, Kid Rock, and of course still with the Red Wings.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm a
And-
lucky girl. I couldn't have done that from LA.
No, that's right. That's right. And we're glad you didn't leave.
Thank you.
And it wouldn't say,
Careful, I'm a gypsy. I still might go.
you know, it just wouldn't sound right. Karen Newman singing for the Los Angeles Kings.
That's
No.
not going to happen.
No, that doesn't sound right.
I saw a kid yesterday, a student, and he was playing tennis. He's on the Groves High School tennis team. My son plays for JV. And for whatever reason, this kid was wearing a Crosby jersey. And I've never talked to the kid. I said, get that jersey off. He goes, I don't even know who Crosby is. I go, all the more reason.
And it wasn't Bing.
No, it wasn't Bing.
Let's switch gears for a second.
Yes.
Your family, how is your family doing? I know you guys had a family loss. How's your
Thank
family
you,
doing? How are
Danny.
you doing?
You know what? It's we're doing okay. We lost my dad back in May, and it was not one of those, you know, like multiple year struggles. And he had been sick for a while with some heart disease, but he rapidly went downhill, and so we lost him in May. And you know, it's one of those things. You're surrounded by people who are losing parents, family members, good friends. I also lost my best friend 2 months before that, and she was the ultimate best friend I could have ever had. So I was kind of hit bang bang, and you hear about it, but until you go through it, and especially losing somebody so important to your family, you don't really know how that's going to feel. But I can honestly say that our family has rallied together. We're a big family. 7 kids, 3 sets of
There's a
twins,
bunch.
one
There's
singleton.
a bunch of you
It's
guys.
crazy, right?
sounds
We're a
like my
big
wife's
German-Irish
family,
family.
yeah.
So we rallied. You know, we had our moments where we wanted to take each other's heads off in the hospital because one person thought this and the other person thought that. But ultimately, the interest was what's best for Dad.
Right.
And so we got him home. And he, you know, my mom was with him, and he passed at home peacefully. And, you know, if we didn't have faith, and our faith wasn't so strong, and my dad is responsible for that, my dad and my mom, but my dad was just full of faith. If I didn't have that, I know personally I couldn't deal with a loss like this.
Right.
I couldn't deal with any kind of loss or failure. And so because of my faith, I'm joyful
Gives
for
you
my
hope.
dad. And I hope this doesn't sound crazy to my sisters or my brothers, but I'm joyful. I miss him. I swear I see him driving in West Bloomfield with his big black glasses on. I see him all, and I'm like, that guy looks like Dad. But it's like a really warm reminder. Right. And I'm overjoyed with, where he is, because I know where he is.
Well, I understand. I know David does too. We've all lost, we're all at that age where you start losing people that are close to you. And I agree with you.
Do you still have your parents?
My mom, but my dad passed away quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm blessed that we still have her.
Yeah.
I don't want her to hear this because I always complain to her. She's driving me crazy, but
you're bad.
No, I know. No, I love her dearly, and thank God she's still with us.
Isn't
but
that nice?
And David's gone through it, and you have. So
Both my parents are gone.
that's just a part of
Both.
a part of life. Yeah, it's a part of life we all have to face.
Yeah.
Well, they got to see you. Your dad got to see you become as successful as you are, and let's talk a little bit about your career here, because now you're going to be singing in a new arena.
I know.
The
Well,
Wings
let's
are
hope
gonna-
so, Rick.
Oh, I know.
From your mouth to the organization's ears.
Absolutely.
You
And if
can't
they
ever
don't,
assume, but I hope, I pray. I'm not ready to give it up.
you know what? If they don't take you there, I'm going to complain to them like I did when they got rid of Gary Unger years ago. So, now what about? Are you going to sing when they dedicate that Gordie Howe Bridge?
Boy, I hope so.
Wouldn't that be great?
I loved Gordie Howe. Who didn't love Gordie Howe? I mean, maybe some of the
Sing-
guys that played against him, but
Saint Gordie?
listen, he what a class act.
Yeah.
What a loving, wonderful
Heard nothing
man.
but good things about him wherever he was. He touched somebody and would spend an hour or two talking to you. I
He
heard.
took.
And
This
he'd
was a
always
couple
sign
years ago.
autographs,
He always
never
signed.
quit.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're right, Rick. Always signed.
Yep.
And you'd
And
see
didn't
him.
charge for it.
No, you'd see him at the arena. It wasn't just a quick autograph. It was especially if it was a kid, it was a hug, it was a picture, it was a word of advice, it was a cute little jab.
Right.
And I just love him, and it's so representative of the kind of father that he was when you see his sons and when you see his kids, and because they're carrying the torch in the sense that they are just stand-up, wonderful, classy people.
Well, and it had to make him proud that one of his sons followed him into the
Sure.
Hockey Hall of Fame. too.
Sure.
So that's great.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, again, a long time ago, I know when I was in the academy,
Long time ago.
David, you're going to be in trouble.
pounding rocks.
Right?
for David.
Making license plates, maybe.
But he was one of my childhood heroes growing up.
Yeah.
The two sports my dad used to love to watch, and of course I did too, was
Sure.
hockey and baseball.
That's right. Mine too.
Really? And it was number 9 and number 6,
Right.
Gordie Howe and Al Kaline.
Right.
And to me, he was the best.
That's
Always
so
will
great.
be.
I never used to be able to watch the games, whether it was the Tiger games or the hockey games. I think because my mom had 7 kids, she was like, hey, 7:30 is a bedtime.
Yeah.
So we were in bed, but my dad would have it on the TV, and I'd listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I fell in love with Sparky Anderson. Whew,
Yeah.
love
there's some good
Sparky.
times.
Favorite coach of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I watched him coaching the Reds.
Yeah.
For some reason, we had the Reds on in my house a lot. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, we're not gonna
It might have been Sparky Anderson. I don't
Could
know.
have been. Could have been.
Right.
Well, let's talk about what's coming down the pike for Karen Newman. I know obviously the Wings are going to be starting.
Yes.
They always start a new season, thank goodness.
Yeah,
Some
preseason's
seasons are
coming
better
up.
than others.
Yeah.
But,
Let's see what happens. I've got a lot of faith in our general manager, Kenny Holland,
Yeah,
and the
he's
people
done a great
that are
job.
working with him. I think so too.
So what-
Never panic,
Oh, we can't.
It's like Mickey Redmond says, no place for a nervous person.
That's right.
That's right.
We could have a whole show on Mickey Redmond.
But what are you going to be doing now? What's new coming down
Well,
the pike for you?
I'm juggling things, aren't I? I'm a really, really overextended super mom. What mom out there isn't these days? But I'm okay with that. So I'm taking it
Enjoy
on.
it.
My kids just started high school. They're both in multiple sports and doing a bunch of different things. My son is in Boy Scouts, so there's a lot of
you're burning
activity
the
there.
candle at both ends.
I am. So I put that cape on, because that one requires a cape, not a
Right,
hat.
sure. Okay.
And then I'll put my other hat on, or my other heels on, and I go and I be the singing person, So besides the Red Wing season coming up, I am always very busy doing as much as I can
So how do you
with
manage your
charities.
time? How do you manage your time?
Not very well, David. Here's the answer to that. I don't manage my time very well.
Okay.
I really don't. I wish there was a way that I could be better at it. But I have my Christmas show coming up, like, as we talked about,
Right.
and so that's going to take up now a lot of the time because rehearsals will start.
Right.
And I've got a great band, so we don't have to over rehearse. I like some of that to be organic, but then again, I don't want to have a panic attack on
Right.
stage, so we've got to be prepared. And there's all the business behind it too as well. There's the promotion and marketing. So it's not just, hey, learn some songs and get up there and sing. There's pursuit of sponsorship. Any sponsors out there, please contact me. I'm open for discussion. We can go to lunch.
There you go.
And then there's the business of promoting and marketing the show and tying in a charity partner. I have not decided who my charity partner is going to be this year. I try to switch it up. A couple of years ago, it was the St. John Providence healthcare system, and they were wonderful people. We did an awful lot for their Because We Care program, which is terrific and deals with the patients who are trying to beat cancer or family members that are going through it with them. So it's a great program. So over the years, it's been a bunch of different things, and I don't know who it'll be this year. And then on top of that, I am working on some original contemporary Christian inspirational material too.
Will that be a new CD also?
That will ultimately be a new CD. I wouldn't even be so, I don't know what's the word, crazy to say that that's going to be ready anytime soon, because with all of this other stuff, I'll probably concentrate on that a little bit more going into the first of the year.
Once the holidays are
But I've got a couple of songs that I'm considering right now, and working with some of my writers. A couple of the guys in the band are great writers. Play for some of the bigger contemporary Christian churches. So, and that's really right up my alley. You know.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So that's really what's on the pike.
Well, Karen, we only have a few seconds. Why don't you tell the folks, what do you want to tell the folks? And please give your website if people want to go there and take a look at what you're doing.
Hit
and
me on an
maybe buy a
Instagram or
CD.
Facebook. My website's not that great right now. Well, here's what I'm going to say. If
But I
anybody,
did go on it. You do have some
You
CDs
did?
on there.
I better go
Yeah.
check it. I don't know how current it is, but I'm on Instagram because I stalk my children
Like every parent.
That's not a
and
bad
all of
thing.
my friends' children. Just so you know.
Yeah, there you
KK's
go.
watching. What do I want to say? Well, I guess, here I sit with you guys having, a cup of coffee and, a little chat. And, why am I here? Why am I friendly with you guys? Why do I have a friend like David and a friend like you? I guess my message to the community is, you do have to remember that these guys are here to help, and these guys are here to protect us. And it doesn't mean that the system is always perfect. Just like anything in our lives, anything in our world, nothing's perfect. You can always find ways to improve and make the system better. So if you've had an experience that hasn't gone exactly your way, and maybe it's just a few, but don't ever judge the full picture. Don't ever just isolate that one experience. Know that these guys want to help, are here to help, they're here to protect, and all you have to do is pick up that phone and call, or stop in and see them. Ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask these guys for what you need.
And thank you for those kind
Oh,
words.
you're
It's very
welcome. I
kind.
mean it.
Appreciate
She
it.
stays
mean it.
connected to the
Absolutely.
community. It's
And-
really cool.
And also, I would like to thank you for all you've done for us. We've had contact through the West Bloomfield Police Foundation. You've performed for us at some of our events, and we appreciate you taking your time to help us, to help others,
You're so
and to partner
welcome.
with
We
us.
rocked it at
So-
our Concert for a Cause for our
Yep.
West Bloomfield Police Foundation, so we're grateful for that.
That was a lot
And
of
we will
fun.
keep
Yeah.
our connection together. So,
Good.
right now,
Remember
though,
that when I get stopped.
we will.
Leadfoot Karen.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Karen, we'd like to remember a great American hero and a son of Michigan who lost his life in the line of duty. So folks, if you'll take a look at your screen, you will see the countenance of police officer Michael Kroll of the Dallas Police Department, who was killed in the line of duty on July 7th, 2016. Officer Kroll worked for Dallas PD, but he is a son of Michigan. And Officer Kroll, along with 5 officers in the Dallas area, he was one of 5, who were killed. 4 were Dallas police officers. 1 was a Dallas area transit police officers. So please remember them. 7 other officers were wounded on that fateful day. As protesters were walking down Main Street, a sniper opened fire on all these police officers who were providing security for the event. A man shot a total of 12. Again, 5 died, among them Officer Kroll, and 7 were wounded. The subject was cornered in an adjacent parking lot garage, barricaded inside there for several hours while they tried to talk with him through a negotiator to get him to give up. He stated specifically at that point he had targeted white police officers. He was killed when the Dallas PD bomb squad moved an explosive device to the man's location using a robot and detonated it. So please remember this son of Michigan, Dallas police officer Michael Kroll, and the other officers killed down there as well, and those wounded. Please remember them in your thoughts and in your prayers. Officer Kroll had also served with the Wayne County Sheriff's Department, my first department as well, so we shared that wearing brown. He is a great American hero. We say rest in peace, brother. Your memories will never be forgotten. Again, we would like to thank our very special guest, Karen Newman. She is the National Anthem singer for the Detroit Red Wings and a local recording artist. Karen, thank you very much for coming on.
So
Appreciate
welcome,
it. Thank you
Rick.
for the kind words.
You're very welcome. I meant that.
Thank you. We know that. That's what makes them special. And my dear friend, David McNealy, I thank him for joining me. And we thank you for watching us here on West Bloomfield 911. Please keep in touch with the police department. You can follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. If you really want to know what's going on, sign up for McNealy. We'll keep you up to date with everything that's happening in your township. And on behalf of Chief Mike Patton, my brothers and sisters in the West Bloomfield Police Department, I'm Officer Rick. We thank you for watching. Remember, take care of each other, be safe, love one another. Tomorrow is promised to no one. We'll see you again on West Bloomfield 911.